Alright, this should work. Hey guys, Stitch is here, and, yeah, this may be a weirdly unexpected video. Um, normally I do my news updates for the channel via text updates. However, there's kind of a lot to talk about here, so I decided to instead do it through a video instead. And it's because, as you can see based on the image that is also the thumbnail that I've drawn on screen, just taking an old image of my character, of my little mascot Patches that I composed and illustrated. Um, the channel is temporarily under construction, so first of all, I want to talk about my absence. For the past week, I kind of just dipped for a week. Didn't really say anything. I didn't really know what to say. I just haven't been, like, great mentally, so... Um, I haven't been great mentally following the death of my grandmother, my great-grandmother. Um, I felt... I don't really know if, like, I'm sad about it, or if just, whatever. I definitely think it's a contributing factor to my recent, depressed states. But I've also been feeling kind of burnt out. There's been a lot of changes to my schedule, coming up with the end of the summer. But I want to say that right now the target is for videos to come back on September the 2nd. So on the 2nd of September, I plan for videos to return to their normally scheduled upload cycles. But I have a few announcements here. First of all, as the image that I quickly threw together says, um, under construction. The channel is undergoing some changes. I plan to change my profile picture to a new one that I am going to illustrate here soon. As for whether it'll be a sprite or not, I don't know, but I do plan to change it across to all my various social platforms. That I can think of, so, that'll be coming up, but also, as to why, it's just my current one kind of, my current one just, it kinda isn't, exactly fully what I want. So, like, this is my current profile picture here. It's kind of artifacted a bit from stretching it out, but this is the current profile picture. It is just a pixel art I made, and you can see it pretty heavily differs from how I draw Patches now. Oops, there we go. In some regards, first of all, the button. So originally, Patches had this kind of slit for an eye that just isn't represented here. And most notably, this stitch pattern, it goes the entirely wrong way. And additionally, it goes underneath the button, because originally the button was holding it together, but I kind of didn't really keep that. I also have this kind of spiked pattern around it. I don't know if I'll keep that. I'm not really sure if the new one will be a sprite or not. I'm currently planning that yes, that would be the case. I just have to remember how to use that software. Because this was not made in Clip Studio Paint. This was made in a very different software. But, you know. I also, you know, feel like this little lacks expression because I took so much space down here with this. I think maybe, you know, I could use layering a little bit. So here's what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to utilize the same background potentially, but just change the actual shape. I also don't think it's going to be perfectly circular since, you know, Patch's head is not perfectly circular. This image, I think I traced the body proportions. I either traced or heavily referenced the body proportions from Sackboy. I think I edited them slightly because these arms are very much not like Sackboy arm proportions, I don't think. These arm proportions are also weird. That's like arm is like really long compared to the torso. Anyways, so you know, I kind of wanted to reincorporate, you know, my little OC, my profile picture. My current one has gotten the job done, but you know, it's time for change. Change is welcome. You know, new era of Stitches Johnson. So, anyways, so that's in the works, but also I plan to kind of finally actually get down to constructing the Ko-Fi a little more. I've recorded several videos that I plan to be entirely Ko-Fi exclusive for quite some time. These are of me playing on a server. I did get permission to record this. It's for me playing on a Minecraft server called Cobblemon Rivals, which was made by a YouTuber whose name I believe is Seismic, was who I heard about it from. So, you know, Seismic, I believe, is the owner. But I don't know. I'll have the links in that video. This is all kind of an announcement video, so there's not really, you know, going to be anything. But Cobblemon Rivals is basically a multiplayer modded Minecraft server. An SMP, if you will. I don't really like that term because, well, it is true. It's short for survival multiplayer. It's commonly associated with certain negative... I didn't really hear it until I started hearing more certain negatively looked at content creators, so, and SMP seems kind of markety content for me. But these videos sometimes feature me alone, but sometimes also feature Nate. We've both been playing on there. If you don't know who Nate is, that's because I haven't edited WarioWare yet. WarioWare was the first series that I really that he was really a part of. So, you know, once that's edited, it will come out. I'm thinking right now that that's going to be the next series to replace whatever series I just finished. What was it? Pikmin. So either that, or it might also replace Henry Stickmin when, it's not what I wanted. I opened my profile picture in a new tab instead of opening my YouTube channel. You know, really quick side tangent in this video. It does baffle me. I like check my I check my video, like, oh, most watched videos recently, and some of the ones are still from those Beyblade videos I did, which I don't even know if I'll keep those up. Those might become unlisted at some point, just due to recently YouTube has announced they're making even more changes. Oh my god. Infiltrating the airship hit 106 views. Jeez. It's very much like a large jump compared to the previous videos. I guess that one must be really popular. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. To replace Pikmin, you know, I want WarioWare to finally come out. But I do have some other things that I want to put up on the Ko-Fi. I'm just not sure if they will be done by September 2nd. A lot of this stuff is stuff I want to get by September 2nd. It seems like it's all pretty reasonable. It's just computer work. A lot of it, it's not actually recording, you know, because I have these problems where I'm like, man, sucks I have no pre-recorded Let's Play series, and then I have an entire one sitting in my pocket, but my lazy ass just needs to edit it. That's part of my ADHD problem, is that recording the videos is the fun part. Editing it can be the hard part because I have to really force myself to sit down and, well, focus. And, you know, I'm an unmedicated ADHD haver person. I'm unmedicated for it. I know I was talking with my doctor about potentially getting on ADHD medication, but it requires me to do like a psychological screening because of the fact that they're probably going to put me on Adderall if I do it. I don't really know. I don't know much about medicine, so don't ask me. I'm not a licensed professional. I'm just explaining my thought process. But so I pretty much took a 1 week break from YouTube leading up to today. I'm the day I'm recording this, and the day this is coming out being the 25th. The week before this and this week are both being breaks, just for different reasons. This one I'm taking a break more as a tactical break to, you know, shift focus onto purely editing, not releasing videos. Just editing them, and then, you know, I can get them uploaded and smack, smack, smack. I don't know when the Ko-Fi will be, like, officially updated. I will probably batch drop all of the videos on the Ko-Fi, though. I'll make an announcement. Remember, to see those videos, you need to be a part of the $3 monthly member tier for Ko-Fi, which means I probably need to re-look at Ko-Fi and see if I can, like, really advertise that you don't just donate the $3, you have to be a part of the $3 monthly member tier. At least I think it's $3. I've been saying it's $3, so I should probably change it to $3 if it's not. Excuse me. Yeah, I believe it's a $3 a month minimum. But I was trying to do early access where yeah, like the first one I have is from like November of last year, so like a year ago. But the Ko-Fi also needs updated anyway. But so I plan for the Ko-Fi to kind of be finally officially implemented. I just haven't really had time to figure it out too much. Yeah, it looks like I can set up memberships. So I'll go ahead and get that set up. I'll do a proper announcement video for that once that's finished. WarioWare, I finally plan, to really buckle down and work on it. The later videos are the easier ones to edit because they are recorded more traditionally, where Nate and I are using lavalier mics for those. But when it comes to the earlier videos, I recorded the audio on my phone, meaning I have a separate audio file, meaning that the earlier videos might not necessarily be the best of quality, but they're gonna get better quality over time. So if you don't know who Nate is my IRL bestie. He and I met in middle school and have kind of just been best friends since. I believe we met in our gym class. But he's in every single WarioWare video because that is actually the first of a sort of double Let's Play situation. So, this is kind of going to be like the Nate debut, if you will, coming up on the channel. You guys will slowly be introduced to him. He won't be like a permanent addition. Like, I will still be recording Let's Plays on my own, but he will be kind of a big part of the channel, appearing in more videos as a guest. Additionally, I have partially recorded the 2-player mode of Portal 2. It's going to get edited soon. I'm not quite finished with it. Nate and I recorded most of it in a single night, but didn't really record all of it. So the multiplayer content for Portal 2, we're going to finish that. We do need to test kind of how that's going to work a little bit. Considering we recorded a lot of it, so we recorded it long distance and we decided to keep it a long distance recording and not record some of it in person, to maintain the similarity of the environment as much as possible. But he has since moved out of his college dormitory and into an apartment building, which means that his internet is different. He might have different speeds. He's also changed his computer, which could lead to issues with that. Though his computer is better now, so he should have he shouldn't have much of an issue with it, but in case he does, it's something to be aware of. But yeah, so right now I have like kind of what I would consider like season 1 of Cobblemon done, being like me going through and doing all this stuff. We both beat the Elite Four, the NPC Elite Four. And now we're kind of moving on to just doing our own stuff. So, there's that. I mentioned in a previous video I was working on a Beyblade project featuring many of my Beyblades. I do kind of want to talk about that more, but I will say it is probably far off in the future. Farther off in the future. Originally, I was supposed to start recording it and have it mostly recorded by now, but I don't even have a lot of Beyblade unboxing videos which I've recorded, which, yes, more Beyblade stuff will be happening. I will kind of just batch drop it again, since I don't want it to take multiple weekly uploads. So I'll kind of upload it like, they'll all be uploaded at like the same time or something like that. I can't wait to get mislabeled as a fucking kids channel by YouTube, because they're like, you play video games, you play with Beyblades, you're obviously a child-centric channel. And it's like, I'm really not. I try to appeal to the older audience that have the same interests as me, but YouTube does not like to listen. Even though I don't know, I feel like legally they can't determine that you're a child. I think that you can fight it legally, but it just becomes a pain in the ass. I know you can fight it a shit ton through their appeals system, but it gets harder when you don't have like a rep guy. But I always put those warnings at the beginning of my videos for Beyblade that says mature audiences, where it's not intended for children. My videos are typically targeted at people 13 and older. I don't mind if children watch my videos, but they're never targeted towards kids. Like, I'm not like gonna stop swearing or anything. So if kids watch my videos, it's whatever. But regardless, I have some Beyblade unboxing videos getting ready to go, but there's this mysterious project I've been teasing, which is I'm currently working on a draft for a Beyblade tournament. And by working on, I mean I kind of have the bracket made on Challenge. If you don't know what Challenge is a if you don't know what Challenge is basically a website where you can host your own tournaments, make your own tournament brackets. It's free, but there is a premium tier that allows you more stuff. But what it is I have drafted in 32, I believe it's 32 different Beyblade X Beyblades from across the 3 currently existing Beyblade X lines, excluding Crossover. I don't really like Crossover that much. Crossover, they've kind of shown Crossover to be more collector's items anyway. A lot of them don't perform well. But I have, originally, it was supposed to be a 12 Beyblade tournament, I think, and then I put it up to... No, originally it was going to be 4 for each type. So 16. It was going to be 16. Different Beyblades, but I decided to double it to 32. Because I think I originally was like, oh, I'll increase it to 20. But that just doesn't work because it causes the bracket to stagger weird. So then I'm like, alright, I guess we gotta go 32. But it includes bays I don't currently have. Mainly because they're very rare. Some of them are either rare or new, and I just don't have them yet. But a lot of them are bays that I do have. It's a big project because I kind of want to do more of an announcer role for it, you know, kind of play up the announcer character. You know, what's the matter, trainer? If you don't get that reference, it's a Pokemon Stadium 2 reference. But originally it was it's pretty balanced. Like if I open the I have a document on my phone talking about it. So there's 32 contestants. There's 4 type groups, meaning that I split it based on the Bay type, performance type. So those are attack, balance, stamina, and defense. But you know, besides the point, I did also have, originally I had numbers for each one, but I'd have to, can I? It doesn't count it. Boo. I can't really give you the numbers, but just know that there are BX, UX, and CX line bays involved. So if you're into the Beyblade content, you can see that. That will kind of... I'm not really sure how I'm going to drop that. Like I said, I haven't even recorded it, let alone edited it. But... yeah, it's just kind of... it's an idea currently, and I'm not sure how long it will take. Another Beyblade project I've actually been working on is none other than the long-awaited Metal Fight Beyblade Retrospective Part 2, where I cover volumes 3 and 4. I did read volumes 3 and 4, and I was ready to record it, and then I got in that slump, and I kind of just didn't yet. So, you know. I do kind of want to, you know, get that done. I can safely say that by the end of chapter 4, or the end of volume 4, we do reach the end of the first major arc, being the Battle Bladers arc. We've kind of already gone through 2 arcs, though, because there's like the the intro arc, as I like to call it, and then there's the Battle Bladers arc. But just know that there will be a lot of talk about the anime differences. Because, oh my god. There's a lot. Also, I do want to say that if you are a member of the Beyblade Metal Fight Wiki, I please urge you to go and update character pages based on, to get better information based on the manga. There are very horrible documentations on the pre-hybrid system alone, let alone the entire manga. It leads to a lot of issues where the manga just isn't super well documented, so I end up giving out misinformation. So, yeah. I'm actually probably going to work on that a little bit after this video. Not going to record the entire retrospective in one night like I did previously. Additionally, I have been actually working a little more on the previous Metal Fight Beyblade retrospective video, where I've been adding in the sources of several music tracks that I did borrow for that. It's all video game music, and it's all played for less than a couple seconds, so it should be fine. A lot of it's also music from like a Hudson Soft game, which typically isn't going to get copyright claimed because Hudson Soft don't want to own up to that shit. Hudson Soft knows that people don't play their games for the music, except Mario Party. Mario Party has really good music. People use the Mario Party tracks, though, a lot in their streams. I'm not planning on using that. But so that's kind of what's going on with Beyblade, and I kind of just want to talk about future plans for the channel. Um, so here's the thing. It's kind of hard to say a couple things. So first off, I did buy several Switch 2 games. I'm actually going to pull out my Switch 2 and look more directly at what I have. So I did get Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm not streaming it. I think I originally said I was going to stream Donkey Kong Bonanza. I changed my mind once I kind of comprehended that, oh, this is like a Super Mario Odyssey level experience. And I'm not going to get that much out of that. Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour, I want to stream at least once. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 I have. Mario Kart World, I do want to do another stream of that. So I do want to like do more live streams, but there are several games. There are actually several games we can there are several games I can like talk about that were on Switch Online that I want to play. So I recently upgraded to Switch Online expansion. Much to my reluctance, I kind of was finally sold on it by the amount of benefits you get from Switch Online plus expansion to be like, maybe it's worth it. A big part of it was that they recently announced that Chibi Robo was coming to Chibi Robo was coming to the Switch. Now, Chibi Robo is a game that I has been on my Let's Play list for a while, but it's a Wii game, meaning I have to go through the convoluted bullshit of setting up my Wii. And, you know, recording Wii games isn't exactly great, especially if you're at a desk, because, like, I sit, you know, like, an arm's length away from my TV, and that's not far enough for the infrared sensor to pick up. So, you know, things get complicated. And, you know, Chibi Robo, you might be wondering why I'm saying we. I originally had an English translated new play. Or no, did I? I think I just had the GameCube version. I can't remember. I played it on the Wii, so it's kind of hard to say because, you know, I can play GameCube games on my Wii anyway, due to the backwards compatibility function. But I'm not going to bother to go check right now. It's also on my old Wii. It's not set up on my Wii U. Or, you know, it's on my old Wii. I don't have it backed up or anything to work on the Wii U. And then, ugh. But they announced that it's ported to the Nintendo Switch, so then I would just be able to play it there. You see where you picking up what I'm putting down. There's also a couple of N64 games I was looking at. I would tell you what these games are, but currently my Switch is system updating right now, so I haven't played it in a little bit because I've just been too busy lately. But, you know. What I've played of Donkey Kong Bonanza, I do think it's pretty good. I only got through the tutorial. I did only got to like sublayer 100. Oh, that wasn't a system update. That was just software update. So yeah, there's Chibi Robo is one of the games I wanted to look at. Um, there's Super Mario Strikers. Super Mario Strikers apparently called Mario Smash Football in other countries. That's pretty funny. There was a Game Boy Advance game I was actually looking at that I thought about maybe streaming, but I don't know. My hands are a little tied with streaming right now. What was the game? Not Minish Cap. Not Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. It's called Kururin. It's a game where you play as like a flying helicopter. And it's kind of like a dodgy bullet hell game. I did kind of get, you know, pain in the ass because WarioWare Inc. is actually on. It's actually on the Game Boy Advance. I do want to eventually do a Let's Play of Metroid Zero Mission. I talked about this last year. Last year I had plans to do this Let's Play, and it just never came to fruition. So if I'm gonna do that, I might do that soon. But you know, I can do that now with my Nintendo Switch because I have the Switch Online membership. I don't have to try to set up stuff with an external emulator. There's also Sega Genesis. I guess this gives me Sonic 2. I know it has Sonic 2, but not Sonic 1. It's got, I don't know, Vector Man. I've never played Vector Man, so I'd probably never do it. It's got Sonic Spinball. I'd consider doing a full playthrough of that. But yeah, it's got Sonic 2, and you know, at some point Sonic 2 will come. I do want to take a look at the Sonic Game Gear games, though. The Sonic Game Gear games are, they are something, you know, I want to cover. And that kind of also brings me to the Mega Man Game Boy Advance games. The Mega Man Game Boy Advance games. I kind of just forgot about these before I started playing Mega Man 3. But I meant to do Mega Man The Wily Wars, or not Mega Man The Wily Wars, Mega Man, what the fuck is this game called? Where are you? Oh, here it is. Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge, also called Mega Man World. For the Game Boy. The plot of this game is Wily is at it again, fresh from his defeat at the hands of Mega Man. The mad scientist Dr. Wily has revived his robot masters and even constructed a new Mega Man killer named Anchor. To further his quest for global domination. Now, only Mega Man can save the world from destruction, featuring content from the original Mega Man plus Mega Man 2. As Capcom's iconic cybernetic hero, in his first portable adventure, fights through 4 stages and stops Dr. Wily. If you don't know, basically, these are, I want to say, debatably canon Mega Man games. There's issues with it because it involves time travel, and then you get into, well, if you know how the Mega Man games turn out, it kind of leads into stuff where it's like there's a character named Quint, but then it's like, is Quint actually a Reploid? No, he's not, I guess. Or it's like, is Quint, you know, a carbon? Is he like a human using a biometal? Or not a human using a biometal, whatever they were called. Oh no, I accidentally opened it. I accidentally opened Mega Man World 3. But you know, it's that. There's also Donkey Kong for the Game Boy. That is a game I have played before. Donkey Kong for the Game Boy is pretty interesting. It's a sort of reimagining slash retelling of Donkey Kong the arcade game. Super Mario Land's on there. That's another game I want to play in the future. Did I ever cover Doctor? I did, didn't I? Hold on a second. I believe I did cover Dr. Mario, but it was a part of like a weird like holiday stream thing. Yeah, let's stream Dr. Mario Christmas 2023. I remembered this. God, that was like 2 years ago. 2 years! I think that's technically the first Let's Play one-off as well, which is pretty funny. There's definitely more Let's Play one-offs that can be done. I know I haven't really done many more Let's Talk Nintendo Directs. I haven't really been watching them, honestly, and, like, really I only actually watch the Nintendo Direct if I'm excited for it. Silk Song got announced, so, you know, I want to go back to that. I want to look at that. At some point, I'm planning maybe on redoing the Portal thumbnails. I don't know why, but I used like such a fucking awful thing at some point because I'm also coming back to Portal 2. It's actually funny because I think the last video in Portal 2 has the old new thumbnail, the current title formatting, but everything else is different. Everything else uses the old way I was doing it, so you know. Pizza Tower, probably not going to go back to Pizza Tower. I know this was a talking point for a little bit. I was like, oh, maybe I'll go back to Pizza Tower because they finally added the noise as a playable character. I'm not going back to Pizza Tower. It's not happening. West of Loathing. I do want to go back to that at some point. That got me a lot of views. The first video on West of Loathing reached over 100, almost 150 almost 150 views. But I only did that one for like 2 months before I quit. When did I start that? Did that start like a year ago? Oh, over a year ago. So, because I started it in August of 2024. So it will have almost been a full year since I last streamed the game. So, it's something. Did I ever do Peggle Knights? I did do Peggle Knights. That's another game I need to get back to is Peggle Knights. I kind of just got burnt out on Peggle, so I stopped playing it, but I do still have Peggle Knights installed on my computer, so it is an option. 100 subscriber special, working on it. I actually am. I debated back and forth what it was, but I wanted to do a Q&A, but because I don't have that many videos or subscribers, I can't just be like comment this and I will be doing a Q&A because nobody will see it. At least not for a time that actually time frame that actually is going to be relevant. I also realized the most recent Mega Man video doesn't have a thumbnail. I thought I made one, didn't I? Oh no, I guess I didn't. The last one I made it for was episode 7, so you know, that's that. What else is there to talk about? I guess I kind of wanted to talk about live streaming going forward. I do want to start streaming Terraria again as well, but I do want to talk about live streaming going forward. Live streaming going forward might be a little different. Before I had dedicated 2 days to upload live stream videos, and I had done so with the idea that I would be uploading the live stream videos like, you know, I'd be uploading the live stream videos in a way where like they'd be incorporated into the schedule. Like it was designed for me to stream twice a week. I don't know if that's going to be able to happen. And I don't know how long I'll be able to live stream every week going forward. A big reason for this is that going forward, you know, my sister and like my, you know, supervision responsibilities, my job, you know, it's going to be taking more time. And a big reason for this is that I lose about 2 hours this year. But after this year, you know, I'm probably going to have to figure something out. I've been you know, considering options. I won't really elaborate on what that means because I don't really necessarily want there to be video proof of what I mean for that. You know, it's kind of just stuff that I'm keeping close to my chest. I'm keeping my cards close to my chest because I don't want to say anything before things are, you know, said and done. Because, you know, it could potentially lead to me not live streaming anymore at all. But it really just depends on once, you know, what I decide to do. What else? What else? What else? I forgot to, I don't know if I ever said this, but I actually did go back and uncorrupt my Terraria world. For those who don't know, it was very heavily corrupted in the last videos I made. Went ahead and just uncorrupted that with a tool T-edit. Okay, I know you could say it's cheating because it's using an external tool, but it was literally like an entire pillar of my world was corrupted. There was no fixing it. Not until the post game. And it was just, you know, you got to remember, I'm pretty sure my Terraria world is like an extra large, or is like a large type world. So, yeah, it leads to issues when that's happening. But last time I think I played Terraria, I believe I started hard mode. Pokemon Legends Arceus will continue. I think the last stream I actually did was Pokemon Legends Arceus. Let me log into Twitch real quick. I don't seem to log in there too much anymore. Access monetization tools. Monetization onboarding. Oh, they make it so you no longer have to be a Twitch affiliate to monetize on Twitch? That's actually cool. Really accessible. They also change it so you have to stream 4 days a month to get to affiliate because of that. Yeah, the last video I did was the live recording of Legends Arceus Part 30. Yeah, I remember this. All right. I might have another. I think I do have like a part 33 ready to go for Legends Arceus. But, you know, in addition, in this next week to just editing, I do have some recording stuff. But I do want to thank you guys for holding in all. How many of you are there now? 117 of you, according to the current count. 117. What's it actually say if I go to YouTube? It says something different depending on, like, if you... if you look at things differently. View channel. Okay, it does say 117 publicly. Also, 334 videos. I also want to redo my, part of the construction is I should probably redo my, description. It's kind of weirdly formatted, and I kind of just want to change it, to be honest. It's got a weird vibe. Oh, nope. You guys wouldn't be able to hear that anyway. I have that muted, so ha. Ha, I say. I don't really know if there's much else to talk about. Other than just... yeah, you know, I'm trying to find ways to make content better for you guys. I'm trying to better myself for you guys as well. I want, you know, the content I put out to be fun to consume. I don't want it to just be slop. Especially because, you know, it feels like nowadays you can find a lot of Let's Play slop or just game slop videos. I want my Let's Plays to feel fun. I want you guys to have as much fun watching the videos as I have making them, or at least a fraction of that. And some of you do, and it means a lot to me. And this video is an hour long, so it's just that you know, it can be challenging at times. You know, I don't really like to go into my mental health too much, but I suffer from ADHD. I suffer from major depressive disorder. I think that's what it says on I think that's what it says on my medical chart. It's like major depression disorder or major depressive disorder. Something like that. Let me just give out my medical information to all you people. What am I trying to see? Medical history, is that what it is? Yeah, major depressive disorder, recurrent episode, moderate. So, I feel like the word depression kind of loses all meaning nowadays, but it is a serious problem. Because here's the thing is a lot of people say they have depression, right? But here's the thing. Depression is it's a chronic thing. Like you can't solve it. It's just how your brain works. And that's like kind of what sucks about having these mental problems is I can't just solve them. They're not a problem to be solved. They're a problem to be mitigated. And that very much like wears on me quite a bit. But when I say I have depression, it's like it gets bad. Like it's not just, I feel sad. It's like genuinely some days like you just can't feel happy. Where like you get periods of time where you don't feel anything. Sometimes it's not even sad. I don't feel anything sometimes and it's very scary. And I know there are people out there who feel the way I do. I know there's probably people who watch this and they'll feel the way that I do. Maybe not, or maybe they can relate to it. But the truth is that I'm unmedicated for both my issues, and I've been looking into getting medicated for both. Many people will know that I talked a while ago about getting on ADHD medication, but the problem is that like my old doctor, who I'm no longer with this doctor anymore. I did change my doctor from this person. They basically were kind of like, I'm not willing to write you a prescription for I'm not willing to write you a prescription or, recommend you anywhere to get the help you need because I don't think you need it because you've been largely productive. And the problem is not that I can't be productive. The problem is that like it takes way too much effort to be productive. And that's typically the thing is like it's not that I can't do it. It's that I can, but sometimes it takes so much effort that I can only be productive for like 2 hours a day and then I'm done for the rest of the day. And, I feel like maybe getting on some antidepressants, might help my mood as well. It's kind of finicky. And it's kind of finicky because I have a disorder that is, I believe I have type hyperactive. I forget which ADHD I have, if it's the hyperactive type or the inattentive type. I think it's both. I think it might be that I'm diagnosed with both types because I don't think they're mutually exclusive. Um, but it can be very hard for me to bring myself to make videos sometimes. But, you know, I have people who assure me constantly that the things I do, you know, the things I say, and, you know, the things I do, the same things I say, and the things I make bring smiles to people's faces. And in the end, I think that's really all that counts. You know, I would like to be able to make money off YouTube someday. I would like to consider YouTube to be the thing that I do. I'd like to consider it, you know, one day to maybe be the thing, you know, that I would chalk up to my life's work. It's just that things get a little scary sometimes with it, because, you know, there's all this stuff with like, oh, online safety changes and, you know, YouTube TOS changes and YouTube implementing new features that, you know, some people don't like. Sometimes they take away features. They took away dislikes. I can see dislikes, but you guys can't. There's been a lot of push against YouTube to bring back dislikes, but they straight up said that it's like definitively a no, which makes me think that YouTube had some sort of investor that was like, I'm not going to invest in you if you're not going to take away the dislike button or something. I don't know. I think a big part of it is that YouTube was bought out by Google, which, you know, or, you know, YouTube was bought out by Alphabet, which leads to big problems. Um, but, you know, I'd like for this to be the thing that I do. And, you know, I work very hard to make sure that happens. You know, I brainstorm ideas, you know, I try to execute ideas. There have been times where I scrap entire recordings just because it's not good enough for me. It's boring, and, you know, I don't want that. There are several scrapped recordings for Pikmin, but some of them, you know, some of them weren't just because of hardware errors. Some of them were literally just, I fucked up pretty bad in the video in the gameplay, and it wasn't interesting to watch. It was just, oh, I fucked up and now the entire day is ruined. So I had to like reset the day, or I had to like end the day, time travel back, since you can do that in Pikmin, and you know, change that, delete that video, stuff like that. Uh, what else is there? What else is there to say, really? I guess just thank you for watching, and I hope you guys continue to watch. I hope, you know, the inconvenience stuff hasn't been too much of a deal. This was obviously way too long for me to put into just a text document. So I hope you guys understand and appreciate all this effort I'm putting in, because I'm giving it, you know, my 110% of, you know, what I can give. And, you know, I hope it's paying off for you guys. And yeah, I guess that's it. So that's it. That's all I had to say. Bye.